curiosity on the island was the Stroudley Terrier. Presumably, these little engines got their nickname because they had a loud bark, were small, and seemed to scurry everywhere. This scene is at a new station created in 1991, Smallbrook Junction. A small part of the old island railway network survives, as the Isle of Wight Steam Railway based at Havenstreet. Here we see a terrier which had an interesting history. It was built by the London, Brighton and South Coast Railway in 1877, sold to the London and South... later used to shunt wagons at the docks, and finally the ultimate steam shunters at Southampton, the class USA 060 tanks. These engines were standard American switcher or shunting locomotives, which were built in the war for use in Europe. A number came to Britain, and with their extremely short wheelbase proved ideal in the docks with their extremely sharp curves. After the war, the Southern Railway bought 14 of them to replace the B4s. The engines became quite popular for rail tours in the 1960s, and two are seen on the Fawley branch, which runs on the opposite side of Southampton Water to the city itself. This branch was one of the few freight branches on the southern system, serving the Fawley oil refinery. The second of these engines was to be preserved on the Bluebell Railway, and two others survive, number 30072 on the Keighley and Worth Valley in Yorkshire. This engine has wandered in preservation and spent a time in 1990 on the East Lancashire Railway. Its bright green livery is known as malachite green, and it reflects the last colour scheme used for southern locomotives before nationalisation. The general appearance of the USAs in BR service is seen on number 30065 on the Kent and East Sussex Railway, together with another terrier. The London and South Western Railway, which owned Southampton Docks, was the largest constituent of the Southern Railways, the well-known Ginties. This is the Keighley and Worth Valley's example, being turned on the old Midland Railway turntable that once stood at Garsdale on the Settle and Carlisle Railway. These tank engines were equally at home on local passenger duties, some being fitted with vacuum brakes, and train heating for this purpose. Many have been preserved. This one normally resides on the Severn Valley Railway, but is seen here with Yuletide celebrants on the Swanage line. One jinty has achieved express passenger status if one believes its livery. BR's version of the LMS livery looks very well on the Midland Railway Trust tank, although these engines never carried any livery except plain black throughout their service careers. The Midland Trust has been set up to preserve all and any artefacts pertaining to the Midland Railway and has restored a branch line in North Derbyshire based on the small town of Butterley. A large museum complex has been created at Swanage Junction, where we see the jinty leaving eastbound. Progressing up the freight